Welcome back to DAGryffyn Hobby. My name's Dave. I'm holding in my hands a very amazingly awesome, fantastic, and stupendous box. Okay, so the box itself isn't that exciting, but what's in it? I have to stop for a second and just once again say how amazing this community is, how fantastic and wonderful and stupendous and amazing my subscribers are. I appreciate all of you guys, and it's just really awesome to see the generosity and the kindness within the community. I have never met so many wonderful people as I have since I started this channel. So I just want to say before I get into this, thank you, all of you, for being a part of this channel and these videos that I do. Okay, so the box. What's in it? Well, we're just going to have to open it together and find out. Well, it comes with a booklet, and information is always good. Well, it's a very nice, very orange box, and I don't really believe that I'm holding it. Now, as I was saying about how wonderful my subscribers are, it's amazing how many times people have reached out to me and offered something, and it's always a little weird because I don't like to accept things from people, but on the other hand, I really appreciate the support and the things I've been able to do because of people's generosity. I recently purchased a K-Line 060 that is Trainmaster Command Control, and it's a great engine. Even on conventional, it's just a really neat engine. But I had mentioned in that video that since I had that engine and that I had run it on Nick's layout with his Trainmaster Command Control, that I was really thinking it was about time to broaden, I guess, my control options, and I was thinking I should probably get a TMCC remote and base at some point. Well, one of the people that saw that video was Bill. And Bill had always shared the hobby with his father. They would go to York, they would run trains together, you know, enjoy the hobby together as father and son should. But since his father passed away, it's been a little difficult for him. There are some things from his father's collection that he has, but really has no use for. And he was saying that his father would want to pass the things along to somebody who would really value and appreciate it. What I'm doing here in the train room and with all the videos, it's really stretching my both financial and time resources. I would not be spending what I do on this layout and on the collection if I wasn't doing videos. Sure, the videos give back a little bit, but you know, it's not even close to a break-even situation. So whenever somebody says, you know, hey, I've got this thing, I think you'd appreciate it, I want to send it to you, I'm really touched and really appreciative, and it just, as you can see, puts a smile on my face. So back to what I was saying, Bill wanted to pass something along that would move me along in the hobby. And that would be a Trainmaster Command Control base and remote. So now I have TMCC. Look at that. Could you believe that? If you would have asked me a couple months ago if I was getting TMCC anytime soon, I would have said, no, I am not. I mean, my biggest plans as far as control options, you can kind of see my control card over here, was to rebuild a couple of ZWs and get some gauges on that rack there so that I have a better idea of what was going on the layout. That's as far as I was going to go with it. But now with this, I'm stepping firmly into mid-90s technology here, and I am thrilled. Now, I know nothing, or relatively nothing. I'm just going to end the sentence there. No, I know very little about TMCC and how it works and what to do with it and what I need. This is very obviously a great place to start. Got a remote, and I got the base. It's always nice that there are no corroded batteries in something like this. So now that I have these, I guess I should figure out how to use them. And I guess that's where this comes in. So it looks like I have some reading to do. I'll be honest, it took me a couple days to be comfortable using the TMCC, especially on more than one locomotive at a time. But really, there is no learning curve. There really isn't. I mean, I was so hesitant and mildly afraid of moving over to TMCC, but really there's nothing to it. You take the base, you connect it to ground on your layout, you turn your transformer on, power it up all the way, and then you run your trains. I mean, the only thing that gave me a little bit of trouble was, okay, it was a lot of trouble. The Pennsylvania 4044 in front of you right now, that I had used previously on a universal Bluetooth remote, and it had belonged to someone else, and I don't know how they may have used it, so I didn't know if there was a number assigned to it. I spent probably a half hour the other day trying to get it to program. I had first tried 40, 44, 04, and none of that did anything. So I was looking in how to reset it, and I didn't come up with anything. I mean, I knew it operated on TMCC because with the TMCC base on, it won't operate with the universal remote. It will go for about 6 inches or so, and then it stops. So it was obvious that the engine was seeing the base. So I don't know why it worked tonight. I came out here, I put it on the track, I went through the process twice. The second time it worked. Maybe it's because I don't really know what I'm doing, but it took a long time to get that one paired up to the remote, and it took a while to get another engine paired up to the remote, and I wasn't even sure that that other engine had TMCC, but it does, and that's my Lionel Alco PA1, the Santa Fe model, and it does have TMCC, and it does work. So I now have the Conrail switcher, the Santa Fe PA1, this Pennsylvania 4044, and the 060 behind it. Is that it? I think that's it. I have 4 TMCC engines, and I'm saying that's it. That's fantastic. I'm thrilled. With the remote and the base, you can control TMCC equipped engines. Lion Chief Plus 2.0 you can control, not the original Lion Chief. And I guess any newer, like legacy controlled engines also work on the TMCC. Here I am, unexpectedly dealing with the ramifications of having newer technology, and I'm not sure where I'm going to go from here. I had a pretty good idea of how I was going to control everything, and now it's changing. So I have the remote and the base. I believe the next thing I want to get to work with that is the Power Master, and that will enable me to control the track instead of the engine. So I'll be able to control any of my conventional engines. And essentially, I guess what you do is you throttle up the track all the way, and then that Power Master enables you to control the amount of power actually sent out through the rails. So that way you're controlling a conventional engine conventionally, but with a remote. I think with the remote, the base, and the Power Master, I'll be good. My only other thought is maybe getting a power house, and that would be essentially a transformer, a power supply to power. Honestly, I don't know how many tracks you can power with it, and they also seem to be kind of expensive, but for the time being, I think a Power Master and rebuilding at least one of my ZWs should be good. I have some smaller transformers, and they really just aren't putting out enough power. This K-line one that I use on the outer loop says it's up to 18 volts, but the most I've seen out of it on my meter is 16. So it's just not really providing the amount of power that they really need. So I guess that brings my control panel kind of into focus a little bit. I still want two ZWs, even if I'm not necessarily controlling everything with them anymore. I also have a DC transformer from my HO trains that I'm thinking of hooking up and using to power scenery lighting, any LEDs that I want to put in buildings and whatnot. I figure why not power them just directly DC? I guess my main concern, or one of the many, is the layout wiring. Really, up until this point, the layout wiring is kind of temporary. When I was building it, I just kind of routed some 12 gauge wire I'd left over from wiring my house and just kind of ran it the length of the layout and then connected the drops to it. And I don't know that that's the best idea. I don't know that's the worst idea, but there are things to consider. And I also have to figure out how I'm going to wire all the lights, because I think once I start putting lights in things, I'm going to want them everywhere. So there's a lot to consider. But for the time being, I'm going to use this remote, and I'm going to enjoy this mid-90s technology. I don't think it's really going to change the hobby that much for me. It will enable me to have more control when shooting videos, when I'm trying to follow a train around the layout, or if I want to activate the horn or the whistle. It'll be a lot easier to do that with the remote than trying to get back to the transformer to do it. And it's just, I think, going to make that a lot easier. And I'm glad it's a remote and not something like an app, because I don't want to sit there holding my phone to run the trains. I mean, it's neat and it's convenient, but it's not fun. It's not really what I like. I like the feel of the remote in my hand, the weight of it, the buttons. You know, it's old school enough to still appeal to me. While this addition alters my approach to the hobby a little, I think really all it's going to do is add to the joy. So as far as being a purely conventional kind of a guy, sorry, I guess we all change from time to time. I wasn't planning it, but that doesn't mean I'm going to start buying really expensive engines, because who's got the money for that? There are some good engines in the sub $300 range that are TMCC equipped, and I'm good with that. I don't need a whole lot. I mean, I have a lot of equipment here, and once the Power Master is installed, I can run everything from the remote. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see where it goes from here. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time on DAGryffyn Hobby.